Hello. Today we're going to be talking about an innovative collection development toolkit from BroadArt called Bibz Analytics. Today we're going to be focusing on the system level rank and what that looks like in your workflow. So to get started, I'm going to open one of my own lists. This one is some forthcoming juvenile material. And for those of you who've used Bibz in the past, you're going to recognize much of what you see on the screen here, especially this brief display. That is my favorite of our three views. But as you make your way over to the right, you're going to notice a new column of information. What you're seeing here are predictive performance ranks for each of these titles. That's what these numbers in green are. And essentially, this predictive analysis is made possible because we are able to reach into the ILS of this library system. This is a library in Texas. It is a single site library, and from their database, what we have extracted are two things. One, their holdings. Absolutely everything that they own, everything that is available to their users who are searching the OPAC. We're making all of those necessary divides within that collection, where it's heavy, where it's lean, what portion has been set aside for adults versus young adults versus juveniles. The other bit of data that we are pulling out is transaction data. We want to know how these items that have been added to their catalog previously have performed. And with those two pots of data, what we're able to do is not only analysis, but comparison. We're able to create a baseline for what is comparable on a content level to anything new and forthcoming that you may choose to add to your catalog. We're also able to evaluate the performance of those titles that you have previously added, using that to offer a prediction of how similar titles are going to perform. And again, this is localized data. It is absolutely based on the community's use of that catalog, and you're going to hear me come back to that often. So let's start with what's on top. Looks like Sunflower Hour by Poppy Green is the first item on our list, and this is a list of 373 titles, so not a tiny list at all. And straight away, as I look at the icons here, I see I can get cover art, I can see the full annotation, and that's in addition to all of the other metadata. But what I don't have are some of the other expected sort of low-hanging fruit tools that I think most collection development staff are prone to using. I know I was when I was in the role. Things like this R icon right here for review, or even a star for a starred review. Other niceties like the instant recognition of the author's name or knowing that it's a blockbuster series, when those things fall away, a high Bibz Analytics system score can absolutely fill in the gap and perform in the same way. It's sort of that gut reaction. And how do we know that this is the top of the list? Let me offer a couple of ways to cut up this data and look at it differently. So first off, you can sort any column of information in Bibz by clicking on the column header. If you're subscribed to Bibz Analytics, you of course get the ranking and you can do the same. So what we can see here is, yes, Bibz Analytics is a 1 to 10 score for any title you're looking at, whether it's on a list that we create and send to you, one that you create yourself, or just a title that you have searched for in our database. You get an instantaneous rank. But when you're working within a list, it's nice to have a baseline for that list. So even though Bibz Analytics can offer a 1 to 10, this particular list is a 1 to an 8.1. And just to show you how the ranks can change as we move from library system to library system, I'm going to move from this single site library in Texas to a more than 30 branch system in California. And you'll notice that we've got a different title at the top of our list. We've also got a higher rank. The list now has new context. So here again, I can sort with just a click, and I can see that the lowest score for this particular 373 title list is now 1, and the highest score is a 9.2. And if I scroll down a little bit, I will surely find, yes, here's the title that had been the top title for Texas, Sunflower Hour. For this more than 30 branch system in California, it is ranked at a 6.7. Still a fairly good score when you consider that the system rank is actually the midpoint in a multi-branch system of all of the other branch ranks. So when you see something that is a 6, 7, 8, of course, 9, 10. What you know is that if you were looking at the full list of branch ranks, you'd be able to see numbers even higher than that. So it does offer a very quick way to make a yes no decision. Again, very similar to finding a review or a starred review or an author or series you know performs well in your system. It allows you to kind of look at your budget on the heavy end of your budget and make those instant decisions. The other thing you get with Bibs Analytics, and I am kind of indicating over here to the left within our search filters, Bibs Analytics also offers a way to filter a list by the library system rank. So you can choose to only look at items that are greater than 4, greater than 6, or even greater than 8. If you're getting towards the end of your budget year, if the fiscal year is winding down and you need to be choosier with your juvenile items, for example, I can say I only want to look at items that are ranked greater than a 4 at the system level, and I've cut my list down from nearly 400 titles to 163. And of course, you can still apply all of those other filters if you need to filter for descriptor or review or language. Those are available to you. It's really in service to creating what we hope is a very efficient workflow. So thanks for tuning in today as we discuss the system ranks within Bibs Analytics. More on this new toolkit soon. Thank you.